This video is fascinating because it highlights something about what Trump wants to do with the border and honestly how ineffectual it is. So this is a video from Arizona in an area where they have a border wall. Now, I couldn't tell from the video itself. It's described as a border wall in the articles, but at the very least, it's a fence, okay? It's a barrier of some sort. It's some sort of a barrier, as Trump has been saying recently. But take a look at what happened when some Border Patrol agents, I guess, caught about 80 undocumented immigrants trying to sneak into the country. Look. Now, to me, that looked more like a fence than a wall. All the articles say wall. It doesn't look like it's that hard to get past that. If worst case scenario, it's something like this. And actually, it looks like the spaces between the bars are a little further apart. So they just got right through. Now, I don't know exactly the details of the kind of wall Trump wants. I know he was looking at some prototypes a few months ago, and there were a bunch of different options, and he was like wall shopping. It was actually kind of funny to watch. But this is the thing. Like, so there's a few arguments that people use against the idea of a wall or a barrier or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Some people on the left use the argument of this is just immoral. We should be knocking down walls. We shouldn't be building walls. This is, the year's 2019. We should be treating people kindly, fairly, humanely, and it's immoral. It's unjust. To build this is like a monument to white supremacy. That's an argument I've heard people use. Holy shit, it is super windy out there. I don't know if you probably can't hear it, but it's kind of scary. It's 10 degrees outside, and the wind is whipping like 40 miles an hour. It's very strange. But anyway, I digress from that. Now, that's an argument that's used, I would say, on the far left. There's another argument that comes from, I would say, probably the majority of the left, although to be fair, I don't have data to back that up. I'm just guessing here, of not that the wall is immoral, but that the wall is ineffective. That if you want to do border security, okay, we could do border security, but to do it by building a wall or a fence or a barrier is just silly because there's better ways to do border security, and that just is a silly, old, archaic way of doing it. And that seems to be the position of most of the elected Democrats. And certainly this video would lend credence to the argument of it being ineffective. Now, again, that looks more like a fence than a wall. But even if it was a wall, and one of the more modern ones that seems like it's harder to, get up and around or under, it's really not, man. You're going to always have tunnels underneath. You're going to always have people who can find a way over, find a way around it. It's not, most of the, like, Trump always talks about drugs. Oh my God, that's why we need the wall. Most of the drugs that come into this country just drive right in through the checkpoints. It comes in on boats that way. Most of the undocumented immigrants who are here just fly in the country and then overstay their visa. So there's this weird, like, ignorant tinge to the argument coming from the right on this, and it's just so funny when you look at like their ideal policy, when you look at people just easily finding a way around it as if it's just barely a fucking nuisance, like just brush it off your shoulder. Like, there's going to be no weak points in where this wall is. There's going to be no other way over it, around it, underneath it. It's already the case that it's not mostly people sneaking into the country who are the undocumented immigrants. So why would you want to put that front and center as if that's like the biggest issue? And also, again, it would be ineffective even if you were to prioritize that. So it's just weird. And it shows you that perhaps Trump and his ilk just don't know what the fuck they're talking about.